Hello, Junior Model UN delegates. My name is Eric Mbaka, and I'm the Director of Student Programs at the World Affairs Council of Philadelphia. This video is part 3 of the Junior Model UN Preparatory Conference presentation titled the Resolution Writing Workshop. This presentation will focus on writing and amending resolutions for the 2021 Junior Model UN Final Conference. If you've not yet watched part 1 and part 2 of this presentation, I encourage you to watch those recordings before viewing this presentation. Before we get started, you may want to have a pen and pencil and a blank piece of paper to write on and access to handouts 1 through 5, which we will use for this presentation. You can access these handouts in the upper right-hand corner of the digital classroom image. Throughout this video, there will be opportunities to practice writing and amending resolutions either individually or within small groups. Please feel free to pause the video at these moments and continue when you are ready. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's jump right in. You will now have the opportunity to practice writing our own resolutions. These resolutions will focus on this year's Model UN program topic, ensuring good health and promoting well-being for all. This is the Sustainable Development Goal, or SDG, number 3. This is a good opportunity to locate handout number 3, the sample resolution template, and grab a pencil and paper, or open a blank document on your computer. We're going to start with the heading, which is one of the most important parts of a resolution. It answers these 3 fundamental questions. What is the committee? What is the topic? And who are the sponsors? Just like at the top of any paper that you might turn in, you have to have your name and who it's to on the topic line. So the committee line is the General Assembly. This is who you are writing to. In this case, we are writing our resolution to the General Assembly. The topic is ensuring good health and promoting well-being for all. And the sponsor, who's writing this resolution, are the student delegates, all of yourselves. So again, the committee is the General Assembly, that's who we're writing to. The topic is ensuring good health and promoting well-being for all. And the sponsor is who it's coming from, who are yourselves, the student delegates. Let's jump right into the preambulatory clauses now. Remember, the preambulatory clauses answer the following questions. Why is this issue important? What has already been done? And why is it still a problem? Preambulatory clauses are supported by facts and data from reliable sources. This is really important that we all understand preambulatory clauses are rooted in facts and data. We will write the first preambulatory clause together, and then you will have the opportunity to write 2 of your own preambulatory clauses. So we have here an image taken from handout number 4, which is the quick facts pertaining to the topic good health and well-being. You'll notice that I highlighted one of these bullet points in particular, which is what we're going to use as the basis for our preambulatory clause that we're going to write together. The quick fact is, in 2016, indoor, household, and outdoor ambient air pollution caused some 7 million deaths worldwide. Inadequate water, sanitation, and hygiene led to an additional total of 870,000 deaths in the same year. Notice that we have a very reliable source here coming from the United Nations itself. So we're going to take this fact in handout number 4, and we're going to use that to write our first preambulatory clause. And we wrote it for you. So we are deeply concerned that indoor and outdoor air pollution is connected to 7 million deaths worldwide. Again, really important that we base our preambulatory clauses in facts. Handout number 4 is available to you when you go write your own preambulatory clauses. Handout number 4 is available to you to help with the facts and data that you need to write your preambulatory clauses. Okay, let's go and practice them. So go ahead and take 15 minutes to write 2 preambulatory clauses. Use handout number 4 to find the facts for your preambulatory clauses, and use handout number 3 to write them down. Good luck. Welcome back. I hope you had the opportunity to write a couple of preambulatory clauses before moving on to our next part, the operative clause. A few reminders about operative clauses. They respond to the preambulatory clauses and answer the question, how are we going to solve the issue presented in the preambulatory clause? Suggest what action should be taken to address the issue at hand. Essentially, what should we do to solve the problem that was raised in the preambulatory clause? And it proposes reasonable solutions that the committee and/or UN member nations can enforce. Each operative clause should directly correspond with a preambulatory clause in that order. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. We're going to write the first operative clause together, and then you'll have the opportunity to write two more operative clauses on your own. We're going to write our operative clause in direct response to the preambulatory clause that we wrote a few minutes ago. And that's what we've done here. We've reproduced the preambulatory clause that we wrote just a few minutes ago. So to repeat, our preambulatory clause is that we are deeply concerned that indoor and outdoor air pollution is connected to 7 million deaths worldwide. So our operative clause is going to be a response to this sentence, and it's going to be an action that we can do or that the world can do to help solve the issue that's written here. We've done this one for you, and we suggest that all countries cut emissions to reduce air pollution. So again, this operative clause here is directly resulting from the issue that was raised in the preambulatory clause, the issue being all about air pollution. Our operative clause suggests that countries cut their emissions to reduce air pollution. Okay, now that we've done one preambulatory clause together and one operative clause together, go ahead and take a couple of minutes to write two operative clauses that respond to your two preambulatory clauses that you just wrote a few minutes ago. Remember all the key important ideas for the operative clauses. They respond directly to the issues presented in the preambulatory clauses, and they provide an action that nations can take to solve those issues. Good luck writing your operative clauses, and we'll see you back here in just a second. Welcome back. Now that we've had an opportunity to write some preambulatory clauses and write some operative clauses, we've essentially created one full resolution. Congratulations, it's really exciting. Next, we want to work on amending a resolution, because sometimes we write a resolution and we read it over a couple of times and then realize maybe there's something that we can do to make it a little bit stronger, to make it a little bit clearer, to make it a little bit better. Sometimes we amend a resolution that a different student or a different country wrote altogether. So amending a resolution is really important, almost as important as writing a resolution itself. So most times, even if a resolution is really good, it can still be improved. Delegates are allowed to amend a resolution to try and make it stronger, better, or clearer. Again, amend kind of just means to change it just a little bit. Ask yourself, is there a need for further clarification on one of the solutions or actions proposed in the resolution? Is there a way to strengthen or change an operative clause so that more countries will support it? Really important to notice that only operative clauses can be amended. Preambulatory clauses, because they're often rooted in facts and data and sourced from really high quality sources, we don't want to change that, right? Because it's accurate and it's data informed. We want to change the operative clause, our proposed solutions to the issues presented in that preambulatory clause. So how can we amend a resolution? Well, we can add words or phrases. That's one way. A second way is to delete words or phrases. Sometimes deleting words can make something a little bit clearer. We can combine two or more operative clauses, or we can remove an entire operative clause if it's confusing or if the proposed solution maybe doesn't work. So I want you to pull out handout number 5. We're going to practice amending a resolution. So pull up handout number 5 in the handouts 1 through 5. This is our last one. And you'll notice that there's a pre-written example resolution here. Notice that it's got the heading, it's got the preambulatory clauses, 3 preambulatory clauses, and it has 3 operative clauses as well. We're going to amend only the operative clauses for this example resolution. Okay, so go ahead and take some time to look over and read the preambulatory and operative clauses available in this sample resolution. Think about how we can add words to make them a little bit clearer, or delete words, or delete entire operative clauses if needed to make it even a little bit clearer and a stronger resolution. Let's read the 3 operative clauses together, and maybe that'll help you think about how we can make these operative clauses a little bit stronger, how we can amend them to make them a little bit stronger. Operative clause number 1 says, it suggests that all countries cut emissions to reduce air pollution. Okay, it suggests that all countries cut emissions to reduce air pollution. Operative clause number 2 suggests that the United Nations support Irish citizens by providing money to help cover healthcare related expenses. That's interesting. Why only Irish citizens? Perhaps there's a way that we can amend this resolution to make it relatable to more than just one country's citizens. The final operative clause is suggest addressing climate change and conflicts and war to better health outcomes for all. It's a really good idea, but is it practical? Is it something that we can do? Can we end climate change and all conflicts and wars right now with the snap of our fingers? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's a way to amend that final operative clause to make it just a little bit stronger. Using the blank lines at the bottom of handout number 5, go ahead and make some amendments to these 3 operative clauses. You can rewrite them down there, or you can make a couple of changes and add them to that bottom section of handout number 5. Good luck. Now that we've had an opportunity to write some preambulatory clauses and write some operative clauses, let's review some formatting for writing a resolution. Formatting is really important because it allows us to write clearly so that people from all over the world can understand exactly what we're saying. So again, there are 3 main parts of a resolution: the heading, the preambulatory clauses, and the operative clauses. Essentially, the resolution from top to bottom is one really long sentence separated by commas and semicolons. A period only appears at the end of the very last operative clause. Remember, there's also a direct relationship between preambulatory clauses and operative clauses. So your first preambulatory clause your first operative clause should respond directly to your first preambulatory clause. Your second operative clause should respond directly to your second preambulatory clause, so on and so forth. And remember, you are writing to the United Nations General Assembly, not the government of your own country. So it's really important when you're thinking of solutions to these issues, you have to think of solutions that are open and available to countries all over the world. Because again, you're not writing to your own country, you're writing to an international audience in the General Assembly. Okay, so look back at the sample resolution number 5. There are a couple of formatting issues in this sample resolution. You should be able to notice them, but I want you to take a really careful look about what we can do to change some of the formatting issues to make it a little bit better. Good luck. One of the final things we're going to talk about today are position papers. What exactly are position papers? Position paper is like a research paper where delegates research their assigned country and topic. Often position papers begin with information about their assigned country, like the population, a brief history, culture, and that country's relationship to the United Nations. Delegates research the relationship between their country and their topic and try to answer, how is the country succeeding at their goals? Where can the country improve? How can the country improve? And why the country should improve. So again, when writing your position paper, you want to think about representing your country and how your country, your assigned country, that country's a relationship to the topic. So this year, again, we're studying good health and well-being. How is good health and well-being shown in your country and the cultures of your country? Where can it be improved? How can health and well-being be improved in your country? Where can it be improved? Sometimes there's geographical differences between where health is strong in your country and where health is poor in your country. All of these are really important to understanding the relationship between the country and the topic. How do you format a position paper? How do you exactly write this thing? One suggested format of a position paper is as follows. Part 1 is an introduction and history of the topic and the issue. Part 2 is an introduction and history of how the topic relates to your assigned country. And then number 3, or part 3, is an explanation of potential solutions to the topic and issue at hand. Be sure to talk to your faculty advisor to see how they want you to format your position paper. That's really important. Alternatively, this year, you can write a 2 to 5 minute opening speech on your assigned on the topic from the perspective of your assigned country to deliver videotaped. This can be done alternatively to writing a position paper. You should talk to your faculty advisor about which one, or you should talk to your teacher about which one they would like you to do. Again, instead of writing a position paper, you can write a 2 to 5 minute opening speech on your topic and assigned subcommittee from the perspective of your assigned country. You should talk to your teacher about which one they would like you to do. Quick note, before we leave here today, I want to make sure that you're able to save your work. If your handout looks like this, I want you to go ahead and download this document, which you can click on the download button in the top right corner of your screen to make sure that you have a copy of this. If you're doing it digitally, it's really important that you save a version of this so that you save all of your work. If you've written this down on paper or in a separate Word document, make sure you save those so that you can refer to them later as you write your own resolution in the coming days. Again, if you use the fillable document, make sure to to download it so that you have a version on your computer. If you close this tab or window, this document will disappear unless you download it to your computer. Very important. Some tips for preparing for the final conference. Have a friend or classmate peer review your draft resolution for common formatting or grammatical errors. Practice debating, public speaking, and responding to clarifying questions, and know your research. Find good sources, use good statistics that can help back up your argument and or position. More tips for preparing for the final conference. Listen carefully to make sure that you fully understand another delegate's point of view. Keep an open mind, even if you disagree. And if you do disagree, disagree respectfully by using appropriate diplomatic language, showing respect for others' opinions, and explaining why your country does or does not support the resolution. Remember, this year, we are all must practice digital diplomacy as we work towards solving these issues that confront the world. More important tips for the final conference coming up in May. Remain true to your country's convictions and interests, but always look for ways to compromise. Focus on the goal at hand, which is to develop a solution that satisfies as many countries' interests as possible. Dress to impress. Delegates should wear business casual attire or business attire, native dress, or school uniform. Delegates are also encouraged to change their virtual background to their assigned country's flag. Instructions for that are in the digital classroom. Also, students can create a placard for the final conference with your country's name and flag. There's also instructions for creating your nation's placard in the digital classroom. This is a great example, or this is a representation of our digital classroom. You can see that handouts number 1 through 5 and the how to create a final conference placard instructions in the top right-hand corner. There are briefing papers and resources on the left-hand side of this image. And down in the center, you can see those 5 buckets are all different activities that you can do to prepare for the final conference, and some interesting opportunities for you to submit questions to the World Affairs Council staff as well. Use this image at the direction of your teachers, and feel free to use any of the options available to you in this image. So, some next steps. We are going to ask that all students write a position paper or record a speech individually or in assigned groups. Talk to your teacher about whether you should be writing these individually or in assigned groups. Again, write a position paper, which is 2 pages maximum, from the perspective of your assigned country. The submission window for these position papers and recorded speeches are March 26th through April 30th, 2021. Write a resolution. This is a really important part of our program. Every country group is going to be asked to write a resolution in your assigned groups. From the perspective of your assigned country, write a resolution addressing your topic, including 3 preambulatory clauses and 3 corresponding operative clauses. The due date for this is Friday, April 30th, and we need those in by Friday, April 30th, so we can review them before your final conference date in May. Questions? Consult your faculty advisor or teacher, and you can submit questions directly to the World Affairs Council in the asynchronous image or the digital classroom that we provided earlier. Thank you all for joining us for the 2021 Junior Model United Nations Prep Conference. This has been an amazing opportunity for you all to learn about not only your assigned country and the topic, but also learn a little bit about writing resolutions, parliamentary procedure, and how the United Nations operates. We want to wish you the best of luck as you start preparing for the final conference. Remember, be confident, do your research into your country, and attend the final conference with an idea to solving some of the world's most pressing issues. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.